Hey everyone, Brian from Workshop Addict, and today we're going to take a look at Milwaukee's M18 Fuel 18 gauge brad nailer kit, model number 2740-21CT. In this unit, we'll take nails from 5/8 of an inch up to 2 1/8 inch inside the magazine that holds up to 110 nails. Now when you're firing, this unit will stop firing with about 3 to 5 nails in the magazine. It'll allow you not to have that dry fire situation. Simply open up the magazine, load in another 100 nails, close it up, and continue working. This will fire in both the sequential and bump mode, and that is changed in the back exactly where the power button is. So to change from bump to sequential or from sequential to bump, you just push the button in and it will blink for bump or stay solid for sequential. Now this is also the power button, so you have to push and hold it for 3 to 4 seconds for it to turn on and push and hold it for 3 to 4 seconds for it to turn off. If you were to happen to leave this tool on, it will automatically turn off with no use after 2 hours, so there's no worries about just draining the battery, leaving it on. This tool is always ready to fire. Even when you pull out the battery, it's sitting here ready to fire. So the spring, the gas, everything inside is connected, ready to go. As soon as you push in the safety and pull the trigger, it is going to fire. There's no ramp up time, nothing. And that is what Milwaukee wanted to have, to give everybody that feeling of ready to go immediately. It's a neat system inside here, and I guess we'll go into a little bit of what this will and won't do. This unit is designed basically for someone who's going to be remodeling. You could go in and finish a house, but it's designed to put in a lot of nails in a quick time if needed, but also mostly for the job site where you're going to be cutting a little bit of trim, putting it in, and then coming back doing some other work, or you're going to be moving around on the ground and you're going to move this forward, put in a couple nails, and move it forward again. It's not going to be something that you had a bad day and you're going to go out and just pound in 100 nails. Or if you have a job where you need to put in 75 to 100 nails very fast and then set it down and walk away, this might not be the tool for you. Inside of this unit is a bumper that pushes everything forward. And you'll hear people talk about the thermal overload. Well, the thermal overload is not with the battery or the motor. It's an actual timer system built in to protect this bumper. After so many fires, that bumper can heat up, and Milwaukee put in a safety system to make sure that this bumper does not deform or change in shape in any way, so it protects this tool. It's not exactly a cheap tool, so that insurance is there for your benefit. So if you're going to use it on the job site, you probably will never run into this thermal overload system. If you're going to come into your shop and say, I'm going to find out if this will shoot 1,200 nails in one 2 amp hour battery, and I'm going to do it all at once, you'll hit that thermal overload after your first magazine. So it's an interesting situation. It's a protection of the tool, not exactly a performance thing. So when we look at thermal overloads and what's happening, it's not the motor, it's not the battery, it's simply tool protection. Sorry to belabor that a little bit, but I think that's something that's out there that people are talking about, well, something's getting hot. When this does go into thermal overload, nothing is really warm. So it's simply internals and you won't feel it externally. We did run into the thermal overload a couple times, but once we really started to say, how are you going to use this on the job site, it kind of left the situation behind, because I don't think anyone is ever going to fire that many nails. And if they are, they need to stay with their pneumatics, because the pneumatics are really going to be where it's at for speed. And speaking of pneumatics, this unit I think is probably one of the closest ones that we've used that feels like a pneumatic system. We pulled out all of our battery operated nailers in the shop, and this one is the only one that is really overly comfortable to use. Now some of the other ones that might fire faster or might actually continue to fire longer than this one had triggers on them that were just absolutely absurd. It's nothing that a professional would want to use all day long. The trigger is really hard to pull, the trigger pull is really long, and you never really knew when it was going to go off. This trigger pull is designed and set up almost exactly like your pneumatic trigger pull, and it's, I hate to compare it to a gun, but you know when this is going to fire. The trigger pull is short, it's fairly crisp, and it's light. Now, the nose up front is the only complaint that I really have about this. It is easy to use when you have the tool on its side. If you're putting in trim, it's excellent. I have no issue with it. But when it comes to putting something straight down on a table, testing purposes basically, I tend to leave the tool on an awkward angle. It still fires great. We've had good consistency firing into 2-inch oak without a problem. 2-inch nail going right in. It will sink it consistently and without jams. I say that, but we did have one jam, and we do have an easy way of extracting the jam. Our jam was user error. We put a nail on top of 2 other very close nails, but it was nice to actually see how easy it was to remove the jam from the nailer. Overall, I think that some of the marketing that's behind this is saying, you know, okay, we can shoot 1,200 nails. That's great. We can on the 2 amp hour battery. We've not been able to test it because we're not sitting there in a real world situation testing that amount of nails. We put in 500 to 600 nails and still had half a battery left after working at a buddy's house in his basement. There's no issue with battery time on this. If you need more runtime, you can bump up to a 5 amp hour battery, but I simply don't see that happening in the real world on a daily basis with somebody who's using this. The guys that are going out and just pounding nails constantly are not going to get rid of their pneumatics. They're simply, the pneumatics are lighter and smaller at this point. Even if they have to run around a hose, they're going to be there a long time, and that's where they're going to stick. The remodelers, the guys who are going to go in and finish up punch lists, that's where these guys are going to grab this because it's easy, fast, and still very reliable. Other than that, the nail set works great. The turning on and turning off the unit is okay. I really wish that they didn't have this push button back here. But other than that, we've had excellent luck with this. If you're interested in it, I wouldn't be afraid of it. I'm not someone that's going to say, hey, just because it can't shoot 100 nails and then turn around and shoot 100 more. That's not the goal of where I'm at. I want something that when I invest in a tool, it's going to last me a lifetime. And we believe that this one will. So you have a 5-year warranty on the tool, 2-year warranty on the battery, and just so you know, this is 11.5 inches long and 7 pounds. Really a nice system, not too bulky, very balanced, pretty easy to use. Check them out. It's a nice tool, guys. Stop by Workshop Addict. We've got a blog and a forum over there. Also, give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for your time, guys. Have a great day.